Brett, first of all, I want to tell you what I saw before I even got to the scene. When I was coming off of Main Street, I saw massive plumes of smoke billowing into the air. Tim, if you could zoom in onto that house right there, you can still see firefighters hard at work on that house right there. Just before 8 p.m., one of our coworkers right down there says that she heard several gunshots ringing out right by the Liberty pole. And then just minutes later, like you said, let me take you over to what we saw here. Literally right at this exact spot, we saw that first responders were giving life-saving measures to at least one of the men. And you can see even literally one of the first responders still have a glove right over here. It is incredibly smoky out here. You can literally smell this smoke for miles, and you can see that smoke for miles because look at how large that billowing smoke is. I'm not sure how well it appears on camera, but trust me, it is a massive thing, easily 10 stories taller, so this is about as close as I can get to it. Millions of dollars in damage to the historic Morgan Manning house here in Brockport after a fire destroyed much of the home about 6 months ago.
Tom, I gotta ask you, how did it smell?
Nikki, let me tell you a story. For a summer back in college, I worked as a custodian at my old school district. I was hauling trash up and down the hallways in that hot summer heat, no AC, from, summer classes, offices and sessions, stuff like that. I took them out to the dumpster. I'm used to working around trash, needless to say. Let me tell you though, this building right here, it made me gag. Residents say that trash has been there for weeks, if not months. Let me show you.
Makes you want to throw up.
Oh, God.
This is what neighbors at Park Square Apartments are dealing with every day. Mountains of garbage piling up near their trash chutes in their building, with waste literally spilling out of some chutes.
I've just immediately stepped off the elevator and you can immediately smell it. It just smells like garbage. It's gross. This has been an ongoing issue for how long? Do you think?
Months. It's been going on for a long time. Throughout the summer.
Jackie Hawley has lived in Park Square for 14 years. She uses a walker to get around and is legally blind.
As someone who lives with a disability like that, how difficult does a situation like the garbage make your life living?
Oh, it's terrible. This morning, I couldn't get down the hallway because the garbage was sitting outside. There was so much garbage outside of the refuge room, and I couldn't fit down there with my walker, or I didn't see it all because of my vision, so I had to move that out of the way myself. Disgusting.
She says the trash is cleaned up every few weeks, but it still adds up fast.
How often is it between the intervals of them taking out the garbage?
Well, that hasn't been emptied in a week.
Okay.
That right there. And the stuff that's stuck in the chute has probably been there longer than a week. At least. It's been so backed up.
And you say this happens?
This is regular.
And she's not the only one concerned. Fellow neighbor Karen Freeman says it's seeping into her apartment.
In the bathroom, it smells horrendous. I have to use this other sink to brush my teeth because you turn on the water, it makes you gag.
We got little children in here and everything, walking by all this filth, breathing in this toxic stuff. Who knows what's in that garbage?
Now, I spend half my day running around Monroe County trying to figure out why exactly 75 enriched housing residents here at the building right behind me are being told they have until Friday to move out. I tried speaking with the Rochester Housing Authority, residents here at the Danford Towers, and the Family Service Communities, which is the company that helps manage the residents living here in enriched housing. I have heard from some residents that they're just shutting down the enriched living program here.
Okay, that's a possibility. I have heard that too. I have heard that they were shutting that down.
Mm-hmm.
But from my understanding, they were shutting everything down. And that's why everybody has to move. And they want us out by Friday.
Who told you that?
The manager.
Gwen Kendig is one of the residents who says she's facing eviction from Danforth Towers. However, whether it's the whole building or just enriched housing, which sits between assisted and unassisted housing, remains unclear.
And they only told you about this last week, right? On Friday?
Last Thursday, they had a meeting. They brought somebody in from Rochester Housing to make the announcement.
How's this whole thing making you feel?
Oh, it's awful. I've been crying all day. I've been crying off and on all day. Because in a way, I don't really have a place to go yet. So I don't know if I'll be homeless or not.
And neighbor Jean Gordon, who also lives in Danforth Towers but asked us not to show her face, says she feels hurt by it all.
Make me feel bad. They doing us dirty. It's nasty. It's real nasty. And I pay my rent every month.
Now, we have been told that at least some of the residents here have found a new assisted living home. However, we haven't officially confirmed where yet, so we'll keep you updated as we learn more about this story.
No hate! Make America great again!
This was the scene on the front steps of Rochester City Hall Tuesday evening. Dozens of protesters, such as Carlos Villegas, calling to strengthen sanctuary city policies for Rochester.
I was born here, but my mother came from Ecuador and my dad came from Mexico. Just seeing what's going on and what's being allowed, it breaks my heart knowing that this could have happened to my parents.
Isn't Rochester already a sanctuary city?
Rochester is already a sanctuary city. That policy was passed decades ago, but unfortunately there is no system of accountability.
So you would essentially just like those sanctuary city laws to be enforced?
Yes.
But tonight's protest didn't come without at least one outspoken opponent in Abdul Bounce.
Go home! What are you fighting for?
You see, once again, my neighborhoods, people that you know don't belong here. They are not American citizens. Once again, there's a point of entry that you have to cross to come into this country. Others have been doing this for hundreds of years. Once again, cross the border where you need to cross the border at. Do it the right way. Don't come through the back door.
But Bounce protests didn't seem to stop City Council, which unanimously passed a law protecting not just immigrants, but also the LGBT community.
This is a statement of values codified in our city charter. It defines the role of local government and our resources. It does not stop the federal government from carrying out its work. It does not prevent immigration enforcement activity in our community. What it does do is affirm our values, draw a line on how our local resources are used, and sends a clear message about who we are as a city. Motion carries.
Blend Abdullah Kurdi calls his photography a diary he can't put into words. And the 20-year-old Kurdish immigrant's favorite subject? The people of Rochester.
The community is amazing. Every single person I've approached for photos, every photo I've taken, the people just have been really kind towards it.
Abdullah says he grew up around cameras and was introduced to the art of photography by his aunts and uncles as a child. Later, when he moved to the US, a teacher helped him find a camera to turn his interest into a passion.
Your camera might be smaller, your camera might not be the best. Just pick it up, aim it at somewhere, and take some photos. It's just like weight loss. When you start tonight, it's going to be the best decision.
How do you keep that motivation up?
The motivation comes after I take the photo. I usually stay in my car right before I get out for any photos, and I stay there for 15-20 minutes, and I question my life. I'm like, what am I doing here? Okay, it's cold. I open the window, it's freezing. It's a blizzard. What am I doing with my life? But I get reminded of the little kiddo that I told you about. I'm like, okay, this is how life is. Somebody created a memory for me, and I want to create a memory for somebody else.
When I was a kid, my parents had a barn, and we had I found a whole bunch of blacksmithing tools in the barn, and I decided, yeah, I've seen Lord of the Rings. I know what I'm doing. Surely I can figure out. And like I said, I just proceeded to just be terrible at it for a long time, and just kind of making mistakes and learning my way through, self-taught and everything, and just exploring my way through the craft until one day, you know, it's more than just a hobby.
Ben Spangler has been a professional blacksmith for over 4 years, even going on the TV show Forged in Fire. He wanted to use his craft to bring the community together and posted his hunt online and at Mendon Ponds Park.
We had a small chest. We had it was about a dozen pewter coins, hand-cast pewter coins that we do in-house and everything. They're made in the old 1700s classic pirate-style Spanish coin, and yeah, they've got some weight to it. So the whole chest was about a solid pound of cast metal, and it was yeah, they look the part, they feel the part, and you know, that's pirate treasure, right?
But what Spangler didn't count on was the chest being found just 2 days later.
You know, I have a pretty sedentary job, and so I don't get to move around a lot. And when you get to your middle age, you're kind of like realizing that life isn't always as adventurous as you had hoped it would be. So it was just a great excuse to get out of the house and do something that I already like to do, you know, hike in the woods. And it just added that extra bit of enticement.